What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over how you can get the best loot in Fortnite Simpsons season, and that's going to be by taking advantage of donuts. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like some more, comment down below if you've been taking advantage of these, and if you guys would like to use my code in the shop when getting anything, it is EvolvedJake, just like my channel name is, and it is underneath the webcam at all times. So throughout the course of this season, we've gotten a few additions to the game that involve donuts. And these additions are going to be the Homer clone donuts and Donut Rain. And both of these are great ways to get really good loot and something that you're going to want to like proactively go for and think about and, decide to do throughout the course of the game because the rewards are so good. We're going to start off with the Homer clone donuts because it's more straightforward and simple. Here are the potential spawns for them on the map. And throughout the course of the game, these will spawn, I think, every zone or so. You'll have more of these that pop up, and actively paying attention to the map. That way you can get to them quickly and clear them, before a bunch of third parties show up is going to make your life a lot easier. And the rewards from destroying the Homer clone donut is going to be one of 4 mythics. And in zero build, I think 2 of these are incredibly good. You have the mythic red eye, which is going to give you access to a red dot weapon, which is a huge advantage in a season which has mostly just third person weapons. The red dot allows you to be much more accurate at range. You don't have to worry about bloom. And it also becomes much easier to kind of play off of cover, I think, with the red dot. So that's incredibly good. The mythic regular AR is incredibly solid in medium range and pairs pretty well with the red eye, I think, to have very long range and medium range covered. This has a higher headshot multiplier. So whenever you do hit headshots, you're going to chunk down enemies really quickly. And in a lot of situations, I end up spraying my mid-range AR at cars, and if I'm hitting enemies in those situations, it's usually a headshot. So the higher headshot multiplier on this is really nice. The SMG isn't really my favorite to use, but the damage per second that it outputs in kind of close range makes it kill incredibly quick. And if you like using the thunder shotgun, pairing that with this mythic SMG is going to be a really good combo. And then the final mythic you can get from these Homer clone donuts is going to be the Dragon's Breath shotgun, which is another one that I don't like and don't really want to use. But the ceiling on this is incredibly high. It's kind of an all or nothing style weapon because you have to reload after every single shot. But if you do hit hard, you can, chunk down enemies really quickly or really easily and just kind of get them out of the game. So all of these mythics are very good, but I think the 2 ARs especially are really powerful for zero build. And with these donuts just kind of spawning throughout the course of the game, as I said earlier in the video, you want to be looking at your map and proactively taking advantage of this. That way, you get your hands on these mythics first and you can use them to, have advantage in fights versus other players. The longer the donut is on the map, the more other people are going to come from, across the map to try to get it. So getting to them quickly, taking them out, getting that mythic, it's going to make your life a lot easier. Even if you are very early, there may be other people going for it. So, you don't want to let your guard down too much, especially when going to get the weapon because people will bait it. So keep in mind that other players will go for this, but when you get it, you get very powerful weapons. The other way to get good loot via donuts is going to be Donut Rain. Similar to the Homer donuts, these just pop up throughout the course of the game. And an area will be marked with Donut Rain, and then donuts will rain down from the sky and destroy everything. But these donuts also drop loot. So they can spawn with chests on them, they can spawn with Mr. Burns gift boxes on them, and they can spawn with rare chests on them. So looting this area after the Donut Rain has happened is a good way to get a lot of loot in a very condensed area. And since a lot of the donuts drop with chests and then the donuts keep falling and destroy them, you'll often have large piles of loot left around in the area around these donuts. And so going here to get loot is something that can help your game a lot. If you're in the mid to late game and you're incredibly low on shockwaves, it can be hard to find more. If you're just looting through an area that somebody's already picked through, your odds of finding shockwaves are really low. But with the Donut Rain, since it's so much loot that's dropped onto the map in the mid to late game, you can often come here to get shockwaves or come here to get heals or high rarity weapons. Just having a bunch of loot that gets dropped onto the map in the mid to late game makes it a very, very good refresh on those items you may be missing. And you can get very high rarity stuff here as well. So if you're lacking, let's say you have a gray shotgun for some reason and it's 4th zone, going to the areas where the donut rain has happened and trying to see like what is there is something that could really help your game. And another reason why you can get really good loot here is because there's actually golden donuts that can fall as well. And if you destroy these golden donuts, you will get golden loot. So again, if you're lacking in any sort of weapon rarity, these donut rain areas are a way for you to kind of solve that problem and get those good rarity items. There's also a lot of gold left behind here as well. So if you are someone who's been struggling for gold this season, visiting the donut rain areas is something that can really help. There is the potential downside of getting hit by the donuts, but what I like to do is just kind of go through once the donut rain has already happened and pick through it at that point once there's a lot of loot left behind. And again, this is something that you want to be paying attention to on your map, because when an area is marked for donut rain, it's only marked while the donuts are actively falling. And like I've said, the best part is kind of once that is done and there's just a bunch of loot left over that you can pick through. So paying attention to the map throughout the course of the game and noticing which areas got donut rain in the event that you need to go to it later is huge. So even if I'm not going to go to it, like let's say it's happening and I'm happy with my loot, it's still something worth noting in the back of your mind that like if we get into, you know, a bad situation for whatever reason and we're out of mobility or we're out of heals, that area is an area with a lot of potential fresh loot that was dropped onto the map that hasn't been picked through as much by people in the early game. Same thing goes with rebooting. If you're playing team game modes and you have to reboot your squad, trying to hit up an area that had donut rain happen to get loot for everybody after they just came back onto the map, something definitely worth doing. And I really like that this is a thing. I think dropping a bunch of loot onto the map in the mid game like this helps make those regaining situations, whether it's you using up a lot of your items or, you know, coming back from reboot. I think it makes a lot more feasible when we have these areas that just get a bunch of loot dropped onto them. So turns out donuts are one of the best sources of loot in the Simpsons season, whether it's the donut rain or the Homer clone donuts. I think you're going to want to take advantage of these. You're going to want to kind of pay attention to what areas on the map these end up happening if you do need them later. But that is going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. It's good there's donut rain over here. I can maybe get more shockwaves. %82 choke rate. So what, 18% win rate? I feel like, I don't know, like this season's a bit different, but like that's probably better than a lot of people. Dude, the donut rain has blessed me this game. Purple suppressed scar, gold tack, more shockwaves. Gold pistol out of this, watch. Nice. There's still 9 people up, surprisingly. What is this person doing? Are they disconnected? That's unfortunate. No, I was gonna say I hope he has more shocks because he had the bot that gives them. What do you want, Homer? That seat swap was huge for him, by the way, because he got a new window off it. It doesn't let him live, but. It's like faster to swap seats than it was get out of the car. One in a car. Dude, That man did not want to die. Tub Sage. Did he fall off? Oh, he took a zip. GG's. Hit the red eye too. I'm actually so lucky I hit my like blasty shots there, because if I missed, he would have pried me.